my very first attempt at doing something like this for my social media. Today I'm going to be talking about the places I stayed, the things that I did, and where I went out to dinner while I was in Tulum celebrating my husband's 40th birthday. I was there a total of 8 days and stayed in 3 different places. The first was a rental called Casa Ulam. The second was a hotel called Naboa Hotels. And the third was another hotel called Hotel Panamera. So Casa Ulam is a 6-bedroom villa, about a 7 to 8 minute drive from the beach and a few minutes of a drive into the center of Tulum. There's 6.5 bathrooms, sleeps 14 people. It has 2 pools, one on the ground floor and one on the roof. It has a full kitchen, a full dining area, and one of the things that I loved most, it has a mid-century modern sunken in seating area. There were 8 of us that went on this trip, and we all had more than enough space while all sitting on this sort of couch situation. One of the things that's really important to me when I travel is that everyone has their own bedroom and everyone has their own bathroom. I just find that everybody's experience is better and more enjoyable when you have your own space to retreat to, you have your own bathroom to use, you're not having to share. So I love that Casa Ulam was so big. There was so much space. Even if you didn't want to go back to your bedroom, you could go up to the roof, sit in the pool, have a few minutes to just be quiet, be by yourself, whatever it is that you needed. It also had a really beautiful outdoor dining area, and we ate lunch out there a few times. Some of our guests played cards out there. It just was a really nice area to be in if you didn't want to sit in the air conditioning, if you still wanted to feel like you were outside and could socialize while everybody else was in the pool. The beds were very comfortable. All of the rooms had their own air conditioning unit. Those things could really pump out cold air. There were extra pillows. There were extra blankets. There was construction going on during the day while we were there. The area that this rental is definitely in a location that is more up and coming. There's lots of new buildings going up. So just keep that in mind if you decide to rent this villa. But to be honest, most of the time we didn't notice. We had music going, we were in the pool, having drinks, eating, really just enjoying our time together. So I wouldn't say that it would be something that would deter us. I absolutely would go back, even knowing that there was construction happening all around us. The second place that we stayed was a hotel called Naboa Hotels. This hotel is one of my favorites that I've ever stayed at. You walk in and you feel like you are in this secluded, tropical jungle oasis in the middle of Tulum. It was very quiet. It was very peaceful. It felt very secluded. This is not the place to go if you want crazy nightlife and a lot of people around, a lot of activity. This would be where you go if you just want your body to relax and your mind to quiet. That's how I would describe it. It has its own restaurant on site. It has a very, very sweet little pool area. The staff was very attentive. To me, the standouts are the rooms. They're all suites. There's only 10 of them on the property. They were absolutely stunning, so spacious. It's just such a nice juxtaposition between the beachside stretch of Tulum, which has so many people and so much happening. It just felt really like an oasis. Third place we stayed was Hotel Panamera. My husband and I have stayed there before. We really loved it. It is right on the beach. Between our first time being there and when we stayed most recently, they built another building that are all suites, and that's where we stayed this time. On the property, they have a beach club, they have a restaurant, there are 2 pools. There's this really awesome covered area where they were streaming the World Cup games on a big projector and screen. It was honestly such an amazing way of watching the games. You could feel the ocean breeze coming in. There were all these people around. It was a very cool experience. The suites that we stayed in are very similar to the rooms in the main Hotel Panamera building. We stayed in a room that had direct oceanfront views, which was really amazing. Unfortunately, because we went in July, the seaweed was horrible, so we could not even go in the ocean. Waking up and going to sleep, seeing the water, hearing the water, still made it worth it. Honestly, I don't like being in the ocean, so it wasn't that big of a deal to me. But my husband loves swimming in the ocean, and that was kind of a bummer. So now for the activities we did. This was not a sightseeing kind of adventure that we went on. First of all, it was really hot. The idea of going to see the Tulum ruins, which we've seen before, knowing that there's no reprieve from the blazing sun and heat, nobody was interested in really doing that. So just keep in mind the activities that we did, they were not educational. The first activity we did was at our rental Casa Ulam. We did couples massages. Because we had a couple of spare rooms that were not being used, those are the ones that we used for the massages. Incredibly relaxing. It was very affordable. And after being on a plane and traveling, it was really a lovely way to start the trip. Second activity we did was doing a boat charter through the yacht experiences. It includes staff. There was somebody on staff that made drinks, cooked meals, somebody that just checked in on you, brought you your food, brought you your drinks, kept the vibes high. The woman that was our host, so to speak, was named Bella. If you book through the yacht experiences, ask for Bella. She was incredible. She had a good read on what everybody's personalities were and what kind of guest that they were going to be. So for me, I just went up to the top of the boat. I laid out and just sat in the sun the 5 hours that we were on the boat. I just wanted to relax. And she saw that about me. So she wasn't trying to hype me up and get me dancing because there was music going. She just would occasionally check on me, offer to bring me a glass of water. Some of the other people that we brought with us, they're jumping off the boat, they're swimming, they're drinking, they're eating. She would hype them up to jump off the boat. She would get them dancing. She would suggest a different kind of mixed drink for them. She really met us all exactly where we were at, and it made for a really good experience for all of us. The third experience that we did as a group was a sound bath experience, Vasico. I will say that this is certainly a more touristy cenote. Beautiful bathrooms, there's a restaurant, there's wait staff, and there's technically 2 cenotes on the property. If you're looking for the most authentic experience that you could have, this is probably not it. My husband and I have gone to a couple, and one of them was literally just a hole in the ground with a ladder, and there weren't chairs or loungers. There wasn't staff. So, like I said, just something to keep in mind. I've done a sound bath before. Almost everyone else in our group had not. So there was some trepidation, honestly. You know, if you're not in the right state of mind to be laying down next to a cenote, hearing different sounds and allowing your mind to settle, it can seem kind of weird. But everyone loved it. It was such a beautiful experience. The whole thing was 75 minutes and it felt like it was about 15. Included with the sound bath was access to the cenote for as long as we wanted to. They set us up in this really beautiful day bed cabana situation. We just chatted and laughed and people swam. I would absolutely do something like that at Vasica again. They do yoga classes, they have ice bath experiences, they do Reiki. It's just a really cool place. It was a very cool place, and I definitely think that it was worth the money to do something like that. So now for the food situation. We had a private chef come to Casa Ulam. His Instagram handle is Mo's Private Chef. It is some of the best food that we have ever had while traveling. It was incredibly affordable. It's a brother duo. They come to the house, they make the food, they serve it, and they clean up. We could have eaten their food the entire time and it would have been great. They were so kind. They just quietly moved about and did what they needed to do. They were recommended by Stefan, the host of Casa Ulam. What an incredible recommendation. If you are in Tulum, even if you are not staying at Casa Ulam, definitely hire them to make you some meals at your rental. It is worth it. The group of us could not stop talking about and raving about how incredible they were as people, but also the food that they made. We went out to 2 restaurants. The first was New Tulum, the second La Brasa. New Tulum is along the beach in Tulum. I believe this restaurant has received a Michelin star 2 years in a row now, and you can tell the food and the drinks were incredible. Everyone loved what they had to eat. It is on the expensive side, so just keep that in mind. The second place we went was in the center of Tulum, La Brasa. Very small, very intimate, in a really cool part of town. There were lights strung from the buildings along the street. Food and drinks also amazing. The other nights that we were there, we ate at the restaurant at Naboa Hotel, and we ate at the restaurant at Hotel Panamera. Really, we ate at the restaurants at the hotels because that was at the tail end of the trip and everybody was exhausted. Nobody wanted to get dressed to go and eat. We just wanted to be able to relax and breathe after 4 to 5 days of whirlwind activity and socialization. So it ended up being worth it because the food was very good. So were the drinks. Staff was very attentive. Some final things to consider if you are thinking about going to Tulum. We went during off season. That meant that things were significantly more affordable. So that's just something to keep in mind. If you're going to go February to May, it's going to be more expensive. There's going to be a lot more people there. Another thing to think about if you're going off season is the weather. We did get a fair amount of rain. That said, it didn't rain all day, but there were a few hours, 2 or 3 days where there was rain, and it was very hot. High season, you're looking at 70s, 80s. Low season, it was 90 to 100 degrees every day. If you're thinking of going during off season, just know you're going to encounter rain. It's going to be very humid and it's going to be very hot. We rented a car through Sixt. We have used Sixt for years now. They are very reliable. They have great customer service. We've used them in Mexico. We've used them in Italy. For us, it's worth it for the convenience of being able to get up and go whenever we want to, if we need to go to the store, if we want to go do something or see something. Other things worth mentioning, the plugs are the same in Mexico as they are in the US, so you don't need converters, you don't need a special kind of hair dryer or charger, whatever it is. Plugs are the same. Most of the places we went took credit card, but if you have the chance and the ability to get pesos before you go, it's worth doing that. Let me know in the comments if you have any other questions about what we did. I'm also going to put in the description of the video everything that I talked about. You can also go to my Substack and I'll have If you've made it this far, thanks for hanging in there with me. I'm hoping that with time and experience, I will be better at this. In terms of what is upcoming, I'm going to do a video about what I pack now that I'm in perimenopause. Upcoming travel, my husband and our 2 best friends and myself will be in Mexico again, celebrating New Year's in Oaxaca. We are doing another villa rental and it looks spectacular. But what I am most excited about is that I will be celebrating my 40th birthday next year, and I am planning an amazing trip with friends and family to celebrate that. I'm gonna wait a little while before I say where it is that we are going, but it is one of my favorite places on earth. I have gone more than once. I cannot wait to go back. Yeah, that's it. Hope everybody has a great day.